I think that we need to look at what Trump is really doing. He's attacking the institutions of democracy in this country. I think there's going to be sweeping deregulation. And we have to really understand how deregulation works. We have to sort of go back to really figuring out how it works both on the level of actual physical consequences, right, and on the level of the intangibles. LGBT rights movements and advocates in this country have been on the offensive for the better part of a decade. There's a real illusion, I think, in the LGBTQ community in this country that progress is always linear. People of color know that progress is not linear. This is going to be a real blow. It's already being a real blow to understand that we're going back on the defensive. Marriage worked on so many levels. I mean, it was a brilliant sort of blunt instrument because it worked legally to vastly expand the rights of LGBT couples. It worked culturally to vastly expand the freedoms and the opportunities of LGBT couples and individuals. It was this sort of locomotive that carried with it a train of cultural change. Cultural change is fragile, especially because it's so new and it's impermanent. In most states in this country, it is still perfectly legal to discriminate against LGBT people in employment, housing, and public accommodation. People are going to learn what it's like to get married on Friday and get fired on Monday and get evicted on Tuesday. Journalism is changing so much and has become such a much more interesting profession. The amount of time that it takes to collect information has decreased exponentially. The amount of time that you can devote to telling stories and to mastering your craft and to writing well and telling stories well, that amount of time has increased exponentially. And that's what's become really prized in journalism. Journalism is now in a crisis of both trust and confidence, which is, on the one hand, a scary thing for a lot of journalists, but on the other hand, it's a huge opportunity. I think legacy media such as the New York Times, for which I write, and the Washington Post, for which I write, will have to either reinvent themselves or step aside. And new media such as BuzzFeed, Vice, Vox, Huffington Post, The Intercept. This is a time when young people are needed, when experimentation is needed, when fresh ways of thinking about stuff are needed. Brains and energy are in incredibly high demand right now, right here, and you can start doing meaningful stuff from the moment you enter. If any journalists are up to that task, it's American journalists. This country has absolutely the largest, probably healthiest media sphere in the world. It has many, many flaws. The resources and the talent pool and the expectation of quality are actually unparalleled anywhere in the world. So yeah, we just have to do it.